Boating is a way that we as people explore our world, how we recreate, rejuvenate, and how we socialize. And in the Thousand Islands and many parts of North America, it has been part of the development of our culture over the last 150 years. Over time, we produced some wonderfully designed and built boats, beautiful works of artistry, craftsmanship, and engineering. At ABM, we seek to showcase these objects to give our visitors a better understanding of that shared history.
In the last 150 years, the Thousand Islands became a tourist and vacation spot. In the 1870s through the 1920s, there was what's called the Gilded Age, when there were very opulent, large hotels. And as train service was directed along the St. Lawrence River or northward, people were able to get here within 24 hours. The steamers would take people to the hotels on the islands, to their private homes in some cases, or to the smaller communities.
Unlike areas on Long Island Sound or Cape Cod, you had to have a boat to get to most of the nice property around here, which really limited the pool of who could afford to have an island property here. But once motorboats became available, a lot of people were able to build cottages on islands and get back and forth with their own powerboats. So powerboating really made residency in this area possible. The Antique Boat Museum really began as a boat show. In 1965, there was a boat show in Clayton, centered around one boat called Idle Oaks, which had just been restored. The Youngs family restored it, and to celebrate the restoration, they put together this little show of their boat and other antique boats in the region. And it took off. They did it the next year, and they've done it every year since. One of the important things to realize about the history of the museum is that when the Antique Boat Show was established, there were not a lot of other people in other parts of the country that were collecting antique boats. And that changed in the 70s and 80s when all of a sudden it became kind of a national craze. The Shipyard Museum kind of found itself in this de facto role of being the museum for the antique boating community. And so in 1990, then director Bill Danforth and the board of directors decided to change the name to the Antique Boat Museum to reflect our new, more national purview. The boat show was how the museum was founded, and it was really founded in a large measure as a social institution. We really attempt to be a gathering place. So we have a lot of events that just try to bring people together, but also just give them a beautiful experience that is contextualized by history.
Our boat show is traditionally regarded in the boating community as a real prestigious show for your boat to participate in, to compete in, and to win awards at.
Over the last 40 years, the campus has grown to incorporate a number of different buildings and galleries with specialty themes, as well as our yacht house and a boat shop.
We are a big campus. There are such important things in each of our display buildings. Plan to have some time to walk around campus and really explore. We have a lot to see.
La Duchesse is the jewel in the crown of the Boat Museum. It was built in 1903 for George Bolt, and ever since it's been to the Thousand Islands, it has drawn attention. When you step on board, it takes you back to the early days of the Thousand Islands.
Pardon Me is one of the most extravagant single objects you will ever see. Pardon Me was designed in 1947 by John Hacker, the preeminent naval architect of his time, working in the field of speedboats. It was built by the Hutchinson Boat Works here in Alexandria Bay. It was designed for Charles Lyon, who had had a lifetime of custom speedboats and knew exactly what he wanted. Many of the boats in our collection are used and maintained as living objects. You could never write the perfect paragraph of text that would give people the same insight into what the boat was for and what it was about than you could just by taking them out in it.
The museum maintains a fleet of 5 or 6 mahogany beauties to support 2 on-water programs, one for the general public and one for Friends of the Museum. In-water fleet program for the general public offers 45-minute speedboat rides 7 days a week.
The skiff livery here at the museum gives the opportunity for our visitors to get out on the water. The skiff livery in general creates just a tie back to why people originally came to this region.
Antique boating is a love. It's what I call wood reverence. And to have the ability to work on those is very, very rewarding.
By preserving the experience of using the boats, we also preserve the skills necessary to maintain them, to build them new, and to repair them.
When we have a builder in residence, they're able to exchange and tell stories. The guests are that much more appreciative. The whole dynamic changes and the history comes to life.
People are very interested when they come in here. People have got so many questions that they ask you about refinishing. It's unbelievable. I've had some here last week, it was from Texas, and I couldn't get rid of the guy. He just kept right on, you know. But that's all right. That's what we're here for.
The museum is a wealth of information for photographs, for lineage of ownership of boats and cottages and properties. You see a lot of people coming in to research once they start to figure out that we have that.
The museum is one of the key cultural institutions in the Thousand Islands, and because of the nature of the area, we are also one of the key attractions. Boating is part of the Thousand Islands. It's the heritage, it's the culture, it's what people do here.
Antique boating is about using and seeing and feeling the experience. To have it go in the water and act and behave and serve the culture like it did in the day.
By maintaining some of our boats in working condition, we also encourage the visitor to discover the love of boating and craftsmanship for themselves. We invite them to join us both on our campus and on the water.